What's up, y'all? We are back on another episode of Just Listening Podcast. My name is A Crispy. I'm going by A Crispy now. But today we are having a different series, and it's going to be called Love Talks. And I have my very special cousin Danica here to just we're gonna talk about what love is, what your perception of love was, what is it now, what do you see like in the future for you with like love, just because I know like growing up we've kind of had we've never really talked about the subject of love, especially during the time of like your relationship. But yeah, let me first introduce you. Yeah, so Danica, here you are. Welcome in.
Hi.
Okay. But like tell us about your previous relationship. Who were you? Like what was that like?
um, hmm. Given that I've only ever been in one relationship and it was really early on, honestly, well, early to me anyways, my first relationship was uh I was a freshman in high school. So, and it was really like I was honestly just like thrown into it. Like of
Mhm.
course like I put myself there, but like the way everything just happened, it just happened like all at once, I felt. So, definitely rushed. I feel like yeah, just I feel like that's a good word to use in terms of my relationship. Like it was just really rushed. Cause
But you
like
were in love. Like you were I felt like you was sprung. Like you were really sprung. But where did it was it just cuz do you felt like that was what do you call that? Uh like they say puppy love, but basically like early in those years like how it's just like you feel so strongly attached to them, it's kind of like all tunnel vision. Like you can't see nothing but them.
honestly, yeah, because like um given like my mom and just being like I guess a girl, my parents didn't want me to date. So like already just like bringing that up for the first time and having no other like context about it, like I said, everything just felt so rushed. And of course, already saying like yes to a relationship, like you
Yeah.
said, the tunnel vision definitely went into play because I didn't really look at how either my parents felt about me just like abruptly going into a relationship. It was more just like, oh, but I love him so much
Mm.
and all that stuff. So like definitely tunnel vision from the very start and probably all throughout also. So
No, yeah, that was I feel like that was also like a crazy time, like time period, because it was I think at that time you and our other cousin were the only ones in relationships. So you kind of were like just in love, but I mean, would you even like looking back at it now, would you even really call it like this is love or not entirely?
I want to say from like the first couple months, I want to say love, yeah, just because like it's literally what the honeymoon stage. So
Yeah.
I that's why I think it was love. But then after that passed, I felt like it still was, but like slowly declining or like falling out of love for anything. Because I
Mhm.
feel like after all the tunnel vision, all the honeymoon stage kind of like passed, you're starting to realize like, dang, like that was hella fast.
Mhm.
Like, do I actually even love this person? I mean, it's not that I didn't think that or I did think that. It's more so like after the honeymoon phase passes, kind of like slowly starting to see reality again.
Mhm. Yeah. Cuz after that, so what was it? Was that your junior year or no, it was senior year. That was a on and off for like 3 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so after senior year, going to college and just like blooming because like just to give a little bit of background, at that time obviously you were like hell in love. The only person you did kind of see was him. So our family was just like, oh, okay, like she's like in there, like, maybe this is the one type. But I think slowly we were kind of getting concerned because it was kind of just like, what about your social life? What about like everything else that came into play of what it meant to have a life? So you're in college, you living it up, so where did this like bloom? Like where did that, was it kind of just like a realization like, you know, I think that that was a part of my past and I just, you just don't want to bring it up again, or it was kind of like you were going through that healing process of, you know, let's get over this, but let's do it like, you know, it might have been unhealthy or like healthy. Like I don't know, what was your take on that? Like
Mm, Given that like it was on and off for 3 years, uh, I think by the time like it was finally like over,
mm,
there was no real like heartbreak anymore. So at this point in time, like I knew like I need to get over it. Like it's not something to be sad no more about because like it's kind of like expected at this point. Like obviously, if it didn't work the first couple times, then it's not gonna happen again. So that was actually the summer of me going into college, and
mm,
I guess I just took going into college already as like a fresh start. Like I'll be most of my time will be not in my city and not really with the people I saw like every day for like the past 4 years either.
yeah.
And honestly, like I think everything started happening because I really got pretty heavily into work, like
Oh,
working at a movie theater. And I had a lot of like friends, girlfriends my age.
mm,
And like you said before, like the whole idea of social life and how I looked at it, like my social life back in high school, in a sense, it was kind of like revolved still around my ex. So
mhm,
like I didn't really go out. No, nor did I have too many friends. Like I kept my circle small, really, because
yeah,
like
yeah.
I feel like I definitely tried to still try to implement him into like different aspects of my social life without realizing like those should be times and parts away from him.
Yeah.
So when I finally found like a good group of girlfriends from work that like definitely didn't know anything, not anything, but not too much about like my past or my
Mhm,
past relationship, it
yeah.
was a good thing to like take my mind off of because new faces and just like good friends really because I feel like I never really had a good sturdy girl friend group.
Mhm,
So I felt like that was a good thing to have like in the time I did. So when I did have them, honestly, like oh here, being in a relationship, I kind of like solely depended on him for like a lot of stuff,
yeah.
happiness included. And
Mhm,
but come that summer before college, and me just like focusing on myself, working a ton, and like hanging out with like my girlfriends from work, just like made me realize that there are a lot of other sources and outlets for happiness because I genuinely felt really happy. Like even after the fact that I just like ended a long term relationship, I didn't feel like I needed to stay in bed every
mhm,
day, and I was so sad. Like I definitely felt like oh this is good for me. Like I needed this actually to
mhm,
push me to be and do better. Honestly, so that happened. So I attribute a lot of like personal growth and maturity to my friends from work. And
mhm,
also just like I want to say my work in general. But then come college, I felt like that me still carried on into college because it wasn't that hard for me to make friends in college even like given the fact that I commute. So you can already tell it's harder for commuters because like
mhm.
they're not always there. But yeah, it wasn't that hard because like I didn't really know anybody, so it really was like that fresh start.
Yeah, like nobody really knew about, oh, like you were in a relationship, or if they did know, it wasn't like a topic of discussion unless you kind of brought it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think as far as like relationship goes, because I've never really, brought somebody back or was able to really attach myself to anyone to create that bond. Because I feel like, especially now, when it comes to like online dating and like just as far as like getting to know people, I mean, before I wouldn't say it was like easier either, but like now it's even harder just because being on the like different apps, you can't really, I don't know, like I just feel drained all the time. Like I don't know if it's just me, but like I would be on the app and a part of me would feel like I was getting to know somebody um through like this app and just kind of just talking to them back and forth. But then I feel like I had to tell them like straight up because obviously I didn't want to like lead anyone on. I was just telling them like, yo, like I am emotionally, mentally drained, and I'm not giving you the same energy that you're giving me. But I felt like at the same time, when somebody's energy is just so up there and you could tell like they just talk about themselves way too much. So at that point I was just kind of like, ooh, this is like bad. But I mean, coming from the side of like having been in a relationship, then going to online dating, like how was that for you? Does it change, or is it kind of that same thing, like getting to know somebody all over again?
I want to say the same, solely because like, how do I put this? Well, the same. Give me a sec. I'm trying to process the question.
Mhm.
But no, honestly, like it does feel really draining. That not really draining, but like I get what you mean when you say like you feel like emotionally and mentally drained of like having to go through those apps. Because honestly, like I see the same way too. Like I feel like swiping and matching and like starting like surface level conversations with somebody, like all that gets like hella repetitive, and it's just like, why do I have to, why did it come to this? But honestly, like even if it does kind of become draining or repetitive, honestly, like sometimes to me I still enjoy it just because like I'm I'm able to meet new people and like talk
Mhm.
to people. And even if like it doesn't go that far, just like a conversation with a new face kind of like it's nice to have, honestly, because like in most times like I'm pretty sure all my apps that I have, all of them talk about like, or my bio at least is like give me anime recommendations. So
Mhm.
obviously it's putting out there that I like anime, and it's fun to see like different people's perspective on like their favorites or what they would recommend, because it's like it's really eye opening, honestly, because like maybe they have said like an anime that I haven't seen, and that's been the case for a couple people actually. Like I remember early on this summer I matched with this one guy and he gave me like three recommendations and they ended up being like some of my favorites to this day. So
Mhm.
like despite it being repetitive and draining, like I do attribute a lot of like some people that I'm close to now or like
Mhm.
new experiences in like in a good way
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
to some of the people I have met on like dating apps. So yeah, despite all the negativity behind it, sometimes there is like that silver lining behind it all though.
Yeah, I'm really just trying to find, because I remember talking to someone and I was like, "Yo, like I don't even know what I'm looking for anymore," because like a part of me felt like maybe I am looking for a relationship, but after some time I'm just like, maybe I'm just looking for a friend, or maybe I'm just looking for um somebody to talk to like regularly that I just don't feel drained talking to,
Hmm.
because when you have to keep up the conversation or just carrying that conversation, it does get annoying. Like,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, like I hate trying to keep up a conversation that's not there. And I felt like that happened a lot. Like one time, just basically getting to know somebody, because I felt like I really felt something for them. So obviously, you try to keep that up. But I don't know if I would do that again, just to save myself in a sense. Like, if it doesn't go, it doesn't go, but if it happens to, go somewhere, yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people too, like, looking into a relationship looking for, like, a friends with benefits during a pandemic is just weird to me. I don't know, I just a part of me is like, "That's kinda gross," because of the times, like, we're literally in a pandemic and you're looking to be, like, friends with benefits, you
I
know?
know. Honestly, like that's why one of like the first things that I'd ever do when it comes to like matching with someone was just
Mhm.
to like outwardly ask like what are your motives, like because I'm not gonna waste either my time or yours if
Yeah.
either of us want different things. And I agree, like it's kind of weird and annoying how often like stuff like asked about like being hooking up or like friends with benefits gets asked about. But like I said, like that it's all based on motive. Because like if you think about it nowadays, like is anybody actually on Tinder to find love?
Yeah, literally.
It's not.
Literally, that's why I was like, I don't think so. For me personally, I think that app too is just really toxic though. Um because like what it's known for, obviously Tinder's not really known for you're gonna find your Prince Charming on there. I mean, given the fact that I've heard a lot of experiences with people who kind of went from hookups to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know if I believe in that because
Yeah.
that whole no strings attached kind of is a lot. It's a lot to take in because it could happen. It could either go one way or it could either go the other, you know?
Mhm.
So part of me feels like that's kind of overlooked too of how often no strings attaches, even if it's like not necessarily a friend with benefits, if they still want to do like everything that a relationship does, but not having a title with it, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, like I wish people knew more so that that's the part, probably the part that a lot of people find draining, because like I've had like, I feel like honestly an insecurity of mine has been developed over time on dating apps,
Yeah.
where it's like I'm pretty enough to fuck but not pretty enough to fuck. But that shit has, sorry, that has like, that insecurity of mine has developed and grown a lot through like dating apps. And
Mhm.
even more so, like I've had a friend of mine too, like propose that, and he knows about like that insecurity too.
Mhm.
And I don't know, just like, I'm not trying to like put any blame on guys, 'cause I feel like this goes like any way, but
Mhm.
it's like I wish people were on there more so now to like actually seek love, because it's annoying and it's draining how often like that is talked about. But also like I've never personally had like a friends of benefit or nothing. Like I had friends who have, and I've seen it turn sour like really quick, because
Oh, having like a friends with benefits?
like I know a couple people, like all guys honestly, and they would tell me that they have had one before, and
Mhm.
then like
Who
the
usually catches feelings first though?
the girls, because
The girl.
this is also coming from like a guy standpoint, because like I said, like I have friends who have had one, but they're all guys, so
Mhm.
the counterpart is always a girl, but it's always the girl in any situation I've seen catch feelings. But from, I feel like people get hella bold on dating apps,
Yeah.
because very recently one of my friends told me, like a friend of mine that I actually met through Tinder,
Mhm.
but they've become like pretty good friends. He told me about like how he was talking to someone new, and I was like, oh, that's really good, because like, and I knew like of her, like because she was a mutual, so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that's good. But then I checked in about it like maybe a week or two later, and then he was like, oh, like she blocked me on everything because
Oh.
she caught feelings. And like, I don't know, like I feel with dating apps, like everybody just gets hella bold and they
Mhm.
start doing some stuff like that. Like just because feelings aren't reciprocated, or like people become scared, they're so quick to just like drop everything. And it's like, oh, I'm like, no, no, it sucks, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, I I don't know, cause for me too, that's why I don't add anybody right onto social media beforehand because I've kind of seen those things go south where they add you on social media and then like they already know about your business or like kind of lurking, you know? And then from there, like if it doesn't work out, they have you on social media, which kind of bugs me. I just remember one time I was talking to somebody and it was going really well and then they said they were on TikTok. So I was like, "Oh cool. Like what's your TikTok? Here's mine." And then like, I didn't get a response for, like, close to, like, 11, 10 hours, and I was kinda like, "That's weird. That's suspicious." You know, I was just, like, really weirded out by that, right? And then, it comes out, like, they hella unfriended me on Snapchat, so I was like, what happened in a sense there? Was it just, like because I would say my profiles I obviously, I don't catfish, that's just not me, but maybe my persona on online dating apps are a lot different from what, like, social media sees, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, like going back to what I said about how like how people on dating apps, they get really bold. I've
Mm,
seen a lot too, because like upon adding people onto like social media, say like it's usually Snapchat at first.
mhm,
Um, I've seen it where, and this goes like to either end, like someone sees kind of like the person further than just their profile on like
yeah,
Tinder or whatever, and then they're really quick to like just take it off, like, and
mhm,
I'm just like, no, why bother?
mhm,
I don't know, like that's why I'm like, why bother wasting someone's time? Because like I remember, and this really sucks, but I was talking to this one guy, and then like I started talking about anime a lot,
Mhm.
and then he
It's
unadded
like
me on Snapchat.
he unadded you?
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Sorry, I have a hobby, and you're just boring.
That's so sad. So you're just talking about your anime and then he was just like
Nah.
totally just what the heck? That's so sad.
Okay, like from what I've learned from, because I first got Tinder in
Mhm.
my first year of college.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, I was bored in a class and
Yeah.
I just hated the class anyway. So I just downloaded it for fun and just I never got around to deleting it. But
Mm.
from what I've learned is that a lot of people, and more so like myself now, just for the fact that I've been on there for a while, is
Mhm.
that more people have become like, well, like I said, bold because they'll start to just talk to people randomly and then like just leave it alone if they get uninterested. But
Mhm.
also like, what was I gonna say? They're not afraid to hold back, is what I'm trying to say to
Yeah.
you. Some people will outwardly be like, "Hey, like, are you trying to send pics?" And I'm
Mhm.
like, "No," because they know that they're probably never gonna see you in person. So it's
That's
like,
true.
might as well just like give it
Uh,
all or nothing.
do you believe in ghosting or I personally do not. I just feel like that's hella rude. Well, I mean, depending if you've been talking for I would say more than 2 weeks, like, consistently, like, every day, I
Mm.
feel like it's rude, um,
Mhm.
just in the case because, like, y you kinda just leave without notice, so it's kind of in my sense, I don't like to be ghosted, but, I mean, what is your take on getting ghosted? Like, do you feel like would you do it, or have you done it?
I have been ghosted before and I
Mhm.
am guilty of ghosting people. But this way I was kind of like a sense of relief when you're like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, no one has ever even passed like a week.
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I feel this sounds really bad, but like I don't mind ghosting someone, nor do I mind being ghosted too, because like how I think about it, like this goes for like any case scenario. Like
Mhm.
I'd rather just rip off the band-aid right away than to like slowly rip it off.
But that's slowly ripping it off, like, I feel like you're talking to them a while and then boom, like, you just ghost them. So, like, you it's like it's a one-time thing, and yeah, I mean, you're taking off it right away, but at the same time, you don't feel like, like you don't feel bad? Like, I feel bad ghosting people.
Think of it, it's like if okay, when you say ghosting, what do you mean? Because how I picture ghosting is just like someone will send me a response and then just won't respond. Like that's how I envision ghosting. I don't think of it as like a continuous conversation, but then time starts to like a greater duration of time in between every response
Mhm.
like starts happening, you know? So to me it's just like bam right there, you know?
No, yeah, that's what I feel like ghosting is too, but given the circumstance, if you were talking to them consistently and you just become uninterested, are you gonna ghost or are you gonna like let them know like, hey, I'm not interested anymore? And because I mean, obviously, I have ghosted people too. If it was like a hey, and then you respond, hey, how are you? And then they're like, good, how are you? And it's like if they just can't carry a conversation or they're not interesting, then yeah, I ghost. But at the same time, like if I've talked to them on the phone and then we went out or like and then like a couple weeks later it was just kind of like nothing at all and then you do reach out again, right? And still nothing at all. I feel like that's kind of in a sense disrespectful. But I mean everyone has their different takes on why they ghost. Like why would you ghost? Like if, when you do ghost, like why do you usually ghost, you know?
Yeah. Okay, seeing it from that standpoint, then yes, I do agree that it is pretty disrespectful and rude just because like already talking to someone consistently for like whatever duration of time, like it obviously shows interest. So
Yeah.
if you just like start becoming dry and like it's hard to carry a conversation with you, then just like at that point I agree to just like stop talking. But for anything on your end, yeah, like
Mhm,
to ghost. So like I don't know, like back to how I said like the whole band-aid thing, I still think like I don't know, because I used to be confrontational like
mhm,
in high school, but then come college, I feel like in a sense I kind of softened up. Like on the outside, but then like became tougher in
Yeah.
the inside more internally. So
Mhm.
that's why like I do ghost because like I'd rather it like to honestly like I see it the way like I'd rather someone do that to me too, just because like I don't want you to like have it be over time like lose interest. I don't know. Be like if you're already losing interest, don't continue to waste my time or yours just trying to like produce something as a response. Like shit, just like tell me straight. I like you don't even need to tell me straight up. If like I get the message and I feel like I don't know. Would you actually want to be told, hey, like I'm not interested?
Yeah, I
Like
would.
really?
I okay, because also I am a big person of confrontation, so I'd rather hear it up front, like, "Hey, like, I'm not interested anymore." Like, "Hey, I think that it's just been emotionally draining talking to you and I can't do it." Like, I'd rather hear that than because I feel like one time when I was emotionally invested in someone, I would double text. So after the double text, I was like, "Okay, I don't think like I don't wanna bother them. I don't wanna make it I just don't wanna make it but there comes a time where I'm like, "What did I do wrong?" Because I feel like when it comes to ghosting, you make the other person feel they may or may not feel this way, but, like, you make the other person feel like they did something in order for you just to, like, stop talking to them, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But, I mean, I understand the point of where it's like sometimes I always learn this thing where like nobody owes you an explanation of why they ghosted you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. So like there came that certain time where I had to just kind of deal with it, kind of understand that this will never be a thing. And I'm glad they cut me off now because if they didn't, I probably would have never stopped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, the what you said about like uh no one owes you an explanation. I feel like that can go either way too. Like I don't owe you an explanation as to why I'm uninterested and why I wish to not continue to talk to you because like it's what I want to go about with what I want to do. And I
Mhm.
feel like just already like I feel like that's a big like signifier like okay, let's just end it there. But so I feel like after that it's like not in my control anymore. So
Mhm.
if you want to like if someone continues to like reach out then like that's on them.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds really mean.
No, no, no. It's honest though. I feel like a lot of people need like they need that honesty when it comes to online dating because a different it's different, like I mean if you've dated people in the past that you've known in person, it's a lot different from online dating because
Mhm.
you don't know them, you literally have the ability to ghost, but if you knew them in person it's kind of like, hey, do you know why they ghosted me, like all of a sudden like they just stopped talking to me, you know what I'm saying?
True.
Because I personally never really, I mean I've talked to people that I knew like beforehand, like I've talked to somebody that like I've known a long time ago, but not enough to be like, "Hey, like why'd you ghost me?"
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to talk to those people like beforehand, it would be a totally different story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why it's just weird. I mean, also with online dating, it's kind of you pick and choose who you want to talk to. So, personally, I'm not a really big fan of um Bumble, cause it just feels like a swipe. It feels like Tinder, but like a professional Tinder, if that makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, like Tinder to me looks so like just Tinder to me looks so crusty. I like Bumble. What you
You
mean?
like Bumble.
Yeah, cause like I don't know, just like Tinder, like honestly, Tinder just looks so raunchy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But then
No.
like with Bumble, like it shows you people like it's like shit. Bumble has even added like they added love languages recently. I know that.
Mhm. Yeah, 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 I saw that. But the thing is with that is also too with Bumble, it's kind of like y it makes the girl reply first, and I don't know if I necessarily like, I don't know if I
Yeah.
like that feature on it. Because it's like I want people to shoot their shot at me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanna feel shot at, it's different because the last time I felt like I was actually like, somebody shot their shot at me was at, I had an experience where I was at a mall. I was during, school, and then I went to the mall for, like, some candy, and the guy worked at the candy store, and like he was making small talk, and then eventually he asked for my number. And then so I was like, okay, cool. Like I've never done that where somebody like is totally random. You can't see like stuff about them. You can't. So he gave me a call like later that day, and we started like hanging out and stuff. But then he kind of went on the he when we went out, the bill came, and then obviously you're gonna like grab the bill because you're gonna be like, oh, like I'll pay for it. And then he just didn't say anything, and I was like,
Okay.
I mean, we could split it. So obviously I diverted it because I'm not gonna pay for this guy's meal. For me personally, I feel like you asked me out, so I shouldn't have to pay the bill. If I asked you out, that'd be different. But then if we both mutually agree like we should hang out, that's a different story too.
Mhm.
So that happened, and then eventually we just split the bill. It happened a second time, and we went to a sushi place where he was just like, I don't have cash on me. And I was like, what? So eventually on the last time that we hung out, I brought it up to him like, "Hey, I just noticed like you've been asking me out." I don't know, if is that old fashioned? What do you usually expect from somebody that asks
Not
you out?
really. Like, I do definitely believe in like equality amongst both genders in a relationship, or even just like any sort of like going out in a sense too.
Mm,
And there is no real way to like be really equal about it, other than like if you are the one, like what exactly what you said, like if you were the one that asked me out, then like it's only rightful to for you to pay, because like obviously I do the same.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
oh,
Yeah, so it was weird. And then he just, he lied about his age. Because like, you really don't know somebody. And I mean, I'm not saying that you know somebody through their Bumble like profile or like
mhm,
any other dating sites, right? You don't know somebody through that, but like at least you can kind of get a gist of who they are before you like go forward with it. So at first I thought this guy was like around 22, 23. um he was 25. So I was just like, I was really like, what the heck did I get myself into? Obviously nothing happened further. Just because I kept my guard up, I didn't even like, it didn't really make it too far. So
uh-huh.
it's just crazy. Like I feel like dating in real life is so much different than what online dating is.
Mhm.
But yeah, do you have any like tips or tricks and stuff like you would send to viewers out there that are like going into online dating, or what could you say even if it like you're about like your relationship, like what were the red flags that you noticed that you could tell like folks on the outside, I guess?
Okay. I'll start with relationship first.
Mhm.
Honestly, be open minded. Like, and learn to like trust your partner, and like,
Mhm.
and obviously, if you feel like you can't, then that's not like. I feel like you shouldn't keep attempting to try to fix that. Like,
Yeah.
bring it up to them, and if they don't do anything about it, then like obviously that's a gigantic red flag, because trust is like probably the most important aspect of a relationship.
Yeah.
If you like, just talk, communicate with them too, like obviously. And I hate that girls, I always find this prevalent in girls, but girls are always like, he can't read my thoughts, like shut
Yeah.
up. Like, honestly, shut up.
uh,
Like it's just, it annoys me, because like I feel after being in a relationship and seeing people I know in relationships and not asking, acting like low-key recklessly like that, and like there, I feel like some people are just so quick to put the blame on their significant other. And like, did you ever once talk to them about like your
so
problem?
communication, like definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cause like, I don't know, I felt that was like kind of really lacked in mine. Like as many times as I tried to like talk about a certain problem, oh, they always were like brushed
Mhm.
aside, and like I don't know, just like nothing ever really happened about like addressing my problems for anything. It just became like a cycle.
Mhm.
Really, like if if a problem is not resolved after like the first time talking about it, then it's never bound to be resolved, is what
Yeah.
I see. And if you continue to try to go about it and try to fix it, you're just wasting your own time and effort to someone who's
Mhm.
not going to contribute it back to you. And it really sucks when you have to see it afterwards, but like that's my like takeaway right now. Just notice how much time and effort you put in and how
Mhm.
much you're getting back,
Yeah.
because it really sucks. But as for online dating, learn not to care. Like
Okay.
you're not everybody's gonna like you. Say like I swipe right on someone that I think was hella cute and like damn, I want to get to know them. Not don't care if they don't swipe back or if you don't
Yeah.
match. Or even if like someone you did think was really cute like became hella dry or like never even knew how to carry a conversation. Like
Mhm.
these people, they're people, yeah, but like for me anyways, I don't really find dating apps to be like where I'm gonna find my lover.
Yeah.
To me it's just more so like trying to talk to people. But if you're not getting the time and effort, don't care, don't bring it up to them. Like I definitely feel like your motive and online dating like is definitely way different than what I said about like relationship.
Yeah.
So that's why like when it comes to online dating, I don't care if someone doesn't like me back or like has ghosted me because like move on. Like it's
Mhm.
online dating. There are so many other people to talk to and meet. And like you shouldn't be so hung up on one person. Like, yeah, they ghosted you and you have no like no resolution as to like what you did wrong or anything, any context behind it. But like think about it. Are you ever gonna get closure?
Yeah, that's
No.
true.
So move on. And
Mhm.
you'll be fine. Honestly, like there are just so many people to talk to. And shit, you don't even need to go on online dating too. Like
Mhm.
looking it is pretty toxic because everybody is on there just for like hooking up. So
Yeah.
ugh.
Literally, it's rough in this world, but thank you for all the advice. And where can they find you at on social media?
Oh, bet. Sorry, I feel like I was the worst guest.
You're good. You're good.
My advice, don't care. But all my social media is all different. So let's give you my Twitter and my Instagram. My Instagram is Danica.Michelle. Danica is spelled with a C and not a K. And
Uh-huh.
then my Twitter is Danica Formel. No dots or no nothing. I'm more active on Twitter. I actually find myself pretty funny on Twitter, so follow that first.
Yikes. Okay.
you you respond to my tweets. You DM me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for being on this episode. And if y'all want to hear more on the Just Listening podcast, be sure to tap in. And that's it for today. Peace.